Welcome to this morning's international news. Let's hear the headlines first. Global airlines estimated losses due to coronavirus raised to 314 billion, says IATA. UK pregnant nurse dies from coronavirus, baby well after delivery. In South Korea vote, virus delivers landslide win to governing party. Iran vessels come dangerously close to American military ships, says US military. Bezos and Zuckerberg join White House phone calls on a reopening US economy. And Trump's name to be on stimulus checks going to Americans, says Washington Post. These were the headlines. Let's jump into the details news now. Estimated global airline losses from the coronavirus pandemic have climbed to 314 billion, 20% more than previously forecast, owing to the severity to the economic downturn and a slower than previously expected reopening of international routes. The latest forecast from the International Air Transport Association (IATA) is up from the 252 billion figure given on March 24 and represents a 55% drop in 2020 passenger revenue compared with last year. Traffic measured in revenue passenger kilometers is forecast to be 48% down this year, compared with the previously forecast 38% decline. Industry body IATA said at a weekly online news conference on Tuesday. The recovery should be slower and the crisis deeper than we expected even 1 month ago, Director General Alexander D. Juniak told Reuters TV in an online interview. The pandemic has brought air travel to a virtual standstill, with many airline flights grounded and no visibility on when travel restrictions will be eased. A pregnant nurse has died after contracting the coronavirus, but her baby, a girl, was delivered successfully and is doing well, the British hospital where she worked said on Wednesday. Mary Agasvi Angiopong, 28, who had worked as a nurse on a general ward at Luton and Dunstable University Hospital to the north of London, died on Sunday. It was not clear if the baby had tested positive for the disease. The Bedford Hospital's NHS Foundation Trust said that Ms. Angoponi tested positive on April 5 and was admitted to the hospital she worked at on April 7th. It is with great sadness that I can confirm the death of one of our nurses, Mary Agnikyopong, who passed away on Sunday, said David Carter, chief executive of the trust. Mary worked here for 5 years and was a highly valued and loved member of our team. A fantastic nurse and a great example of what we stand for in this trust. Our thoughts and deepest condolences are with Mary's family and friends at this sad time. President Moon Jae-in's governing party in South Korea won a landslide in parliamentary elections Wednesday as he leveraged his surging popularity over his country's largely successful battle against the coronavirus to increase his political savvy. With more than 99% of the votes counted, Moon's left-leaning Democratic Party had won 163 seats in the 300-member National Assembly, according to the National Election Commission on Thursday morning. The satellite party, the Democrats, created for Wednesday's election on 17 seats. Together, the two groups took 3/5 of all seats, giving Moon the largest majority of seats in 3 decades. The main conservative opposition, United Future Party, and its own satellite Future Korea Party suffered a crush defeat, winning 103 seats between them. The remaining seats were taken by independents and candidates from smaller parties. 11 vessels from Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy (IRGC) came dangerously close to US Navy and Coast Guard ships in the Gulf, the US military said on Wednesday, calling the moves dangerous and proactive. While such interactions had occurred occasionally a few years ago, they had stopped, and this incident comes at a time of increased tension between two countries. According to the statement, the Iranian vessels approached six US military ships while they were conducting interrogation operations with army helicopters in international waters. At one point, the Iranian vessels came within 10 yards of the US Coast Guard cutter Maui. The US ship issued several warnings through bridge-to-bridge radio blasts from the ship horns and long-range acoustic noisemaker devices. The Iranian ships left after an hour, the statement added. Jeff Bezos and the chief executive of Amazon.com Incorporation and Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook Incorporation's CEO, on Wednesday participated in White House conference calls about how to reopen the U.S. economy in light of the coronavirus pandemic, company representatives said. The phone calls followed an announcement Tuesday by President Donald Trump about the information of advisory groups on how to open up the country, which include the other top U.S. executives such as Apple Inc. CEO Tim Cook and JP Morgan Chase and co-chief Jamie Dimon. Business leaders told Trump the country needs much more coronavirus testing before the public would be confident enough to participate in reopening the economy, the Wall Street Journal reported. The president on Twitter called the calls very productive, adding that corporate leaders were all in on getting America back to work and soon. Some 94% of Americans have been under government stay-at-home orders to slow the spread of the coronavirus, which causes the potentially lethal respiratory illness COVID-19. The orders, including mandatory business closures, have battered the U.S. economy and left millions of Americans unemployed. The U.S. Treasury Department has ordered President Donald Trump's name to be printed on checks the Internal Revenue Service is planning to send to tens of millions of Americans, a decision that will slow their delivery by several days, The Washington Post reported on Tuesday. Citing unnamed administration officials, the Post said that 1,200 checks to be sent as part of $2.3 trillion package enacted last month to cushion the economic blow from the novel coronavirus outbreak will bear Trump's names in the memo line. Below, a line that reads Economic Impact Payment. The White House and the Treasury Department did not immediately respond to the writer's request for comment. The Post said the decision to include Trump's name was announced to the IRS Information Technology team on Tuesday. The team, working from home, is now racing to implement a programming change that two senior officials said will likely to lead a delay in issuing the first batch of papers checks, it said. The Republican Trump is seeking re-election in November.